So for the first exercise question, let's suppose you're depositing $100 in 1 year, $200 in 2 years, and $300 in 3 years, and you would like to know how much these deposit amounts would be in 3 years if they were their interest rates were 7%. If the cash flow amounts, if you have multiple cash flow amounts and if they are all unequal, then the only way to do that would be to separately calculate them and just sum them all together in the very end. Okay, let's start calculation. So, you are depositing $100 in 1 year, which will sit there for 2 additional years until the end of the 3-year term. So, your number of years will have to be 2. So, 2N, 7IY, and then $100 being deposited, so it's negative 100 for the present value. And then with these amounts, you are computing the future value. And the future value will come out to be 114.49. That's the first cash flow, future value amount that you need to remember. You can just jot it down somewhere. And then start working on the second cash flow. Remember, when you're starting over the time value of money calculation, you always have to clear your work from the one before. So control and clear time value. Then you're ready to start. So second year, so you're going to deposit $200 in 2 years, which will sit there for 1 additional year until the end of the 3-year term. So 1 for your N, once again 7 for your IY, and now the present value will be 200 negative for present value. And then with that amount, you want to compute the future value and control FV, and you should have 214 as your future value. So that will be the second year future value. And what about the 3rd year cash flow? It's just gonna sit there. You just deposit it and then you're getting it back, right? So it wouldn't have any time to earn interest. So 300 is just pure 300. So you have 114.49 for the first future value, and the second future value will be 214. Third one will be 300. So let's just add them all. 114.49 plus 214 plus 300, and you should have 628.49 as your answer. So every time you're starting over, please clear all the time value of money on variables. And then the second exercise, suppose you're planning to deposit $100 into an account in 1 year, and then $300 into the account in 3 years. So 100 in 1 year and 300 in 3 years. And remember, there is nothing being deposited in the second year. So if that were the case, the question is slightly different in that it's asking you how much that account will be in 5 years. So you're not just, withdrawing everything at the end of the 3rd year, but it will sit there for until the end of the 5th year. So pertaining to the first cash flow, $100, you made it in the end of the 1st year. And then it's going to sit there until the 5th year. So what that means is it's going to sit there for 4 years. So your number for the first cash flow will be 4. Okay, 4 for number of years. So 4N. And then the interest rate was 8. 8 for IY. Present value is 100 negative. And then you input that for present value. And then let's compute the future value. And you'll have 136.15 as your future value. Now, you'll have to just write it down somewhere else, and then let's try to find out the 3rd year cash flow. So at the end of the 3rd year, you will deposit 300, which will likely sit there for 2 additional years until the end of the 5th year, right? So your N in this case would be 2. So let's just clear everything from earlier work. 2N, 8IY, 300 negative for your present value. And now let's compute the future value, and it should be 350 or 349.92. So let's just add them all. 136.05. And it will be 485.97. So, the first exercise says you're offered an investment that will pay 200 in year 1, 400 in year 2, 600 in year 3, and 800 in year 4. All right. And your interest rates are 12%. And what is the most you should pay for this one? So, what that means is, if you were having that kind of investment, how much do you need to pay for that? Which means how much you need to pay for that right now, asking for the present value. So, with that, being said, we would like to use a new function on your financial calculator, which is the cash flow CF function here. So, this one, if you wanted to use that, you will have to, so CF allows you to compute two things, which is NPV and IRR. And right now, what we're trying to compute is the NPV, net present value. So with different cash flow amounts in the future, we would like to figure out how much that would be worth in today's dollars. That is what NPV is. All right. So we're going to compute that. And to do so, we would have to input all the future cash flows in this cash flow key. All right. So we will start with cash flow, CF. And then once you have this output, you will just clear everything that has been stored before. Right now, you don't have anything, but just in case you had something before, let's just clear everything by pressing second CEC, which is clearing all the work from before. Okay, so you just cleared everything in the CF function. And let's just try to go one by one. CF0 means the cash flow in year 0. Year 0, you don't have anything, so you can just skip. And how would you skip? You can just go by just pushing the down arrow key, but just in case, there was something else, you can just do it. Just, make sure to have 0 in your year 0 cash flow by pushing 0. Enter, and then down arrow key. Then once you have down arrow key entered, you will see C01, which means cash flow in year 01. Right? And in year 1, your cash flow amount was 200. So you input 200. So once you have 200, you enter that number and then go down. Okay, down arrow key. And you will have F01. F stands for frequency. How many times will you have that number? Okay. So, in most cases and in all cases in this course, you will just leave it as default, which is 1. Okay. We're just assuming that that particular number will, be realized just once. So that's just a frequency of 1. So 1, enter, down arrow. And then you will come across C02, which means cash flow in year 2. The cash flow in year 2 was 400. Don't worry about positive, negative. It's just going to be positive. Enter, then down arrow. And you will see F02 one more time. Don't worry about it. It's just 1. So enter and down arrow. And you will see C03, which means cash flow in year 3. And that would have to be 600, enter, down arrow. F03, once again, that's just default number, enter, down arrow. And then you have C04, which means cash flow in year 4, and that would have to be 800, positive, okay, enter, down arrow. And then you will see the final number, which is F04. The reason that this is your final input variable is because there are only 4 periods, okay? So whatever number you have, the terminal value should be equal to the number of periods you have, right? So you only have like 4 periods, so that should be the last variable. Once you're done, you enter, And then no need to push this down arrow key anymore because you're done, okay? Down arrow means down arrow is only pushed when you have more things to input. So you're done with the cash flow input. And now you're ready to compute NPV. So go to NPV and push NPV. And what you will see is I, okay? I stands for interest rate. So you need to just input the interest rate, which was 12% in this case. Enter. And then it has down arrow key too. So just input down arrow key. And then you will see NPV. So once you see NPV, you're ready to compute. So you will just push CPT. And then the number will automatically be computed. And that's 1,432.93. So let's just practice cash flow one more time with the second exercise. All right. So the second exercise says that there is an investment that will pay you $1,000 in 1 year, $2,000 in 2 years, $3,000 in 3 years. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Interest rate was 10%. And what will be, how much would you be willing to pay today? So which means that you need to figure the present value of all the cash flow streams. So, this is another cash flow work. So push cash flow, and then you want to just erase everything from the earlier work. So that can be done by second C, which is just clearing all the work. All right. Now you're ready to input all the numbers. Cash flow in year 0 is 0. So you will just keep it as is and then enter down arrow. Okay. Then you'll see C01, which is cash flow in year 1. You will have 1,000 in year 1. All right, so it's just input enter, and then down arrow. And then F01 is like 1. Okay, it's just going to be default, so you don't even have to enter, but let's just have it this way. Then down arrow. C02 should be 2,000. Enter, down arrow. F02 is supposed to be 1, so you just have it enter, down arrow. And finally, the time period, this is the end of the time period, right? It only has 3 years. So C03 will be your time period, and that's going to be $3,000. Okay, the cash flow that you're collecting in the third year will be 3,000. Enter. And then down arrow. Finally, you see frequency in year 3, that's going to be like 1, all right? So you enter, and now you're ready to compute the net present value. So net present value, and then when it comes to interest rate, it was 10. Enter, down arrow, and you'll see NPV. You're ready to compute. So push compute, and the number you will see is 4,815.93.